Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you love these videos, please smash that like key because that puts me higher up in the algorithms. Thank you. And sadly, we have a case of the disappearance of Brittanee Drexel. And I thank you guys for making suggestions for these YouTube videos. I have an entire list to get through. So we're going to do this together. And you guys know that when the cards show images, if you see anything that I miss, please bring it up because the cards never lie. And this is for entertainment purposes only. On the night of April 25th, 2009, 17-year-old beautiful Brittanee Drexel of Chile, New York, United States, left Bar Harbor Hotel in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where she was staying with friends on a spring break she took without her mother's permission. She walked to another hotel a short distance away and from there texted her boyfriend to say she was going to see another friend at another hotel. She's not been seen since. Police had no leads until 2016. It was announced that a prison inmate told them that Drexel had been abducted and killed. The man accused by the informant denied any knowledge of the alleged crime. Based on the information, the FBI considers the case a homicide but has not identified any suspects. She was born October 7, 1991, to her mother, Dawn, and a man of Turkish descent. Shortly after she was born, Dawn married Chad Drexel, who adopted the girl at the time. After Chad's military service ended, the family lived in Rochester in the suburb of Chile. Drexel took an early liking to soccer and friends, and the family recalls her as being particularly fast with the ball despite her small structure. She had a career in nursing, modeling, and she did have a problem in her right eye that required surgery and rendered her blind. So she wore contact lenses to give her a distinctive appearance. Now, Dawn and the husband separated in 2008, which was not easy for Brittanee, adversely affecting her academic performance. It also aggravated depression for which she long suffered, which is sad. She remained close with her mother, but kept in close contact with Chad. In April 2009, she said, "Can I go to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina over spring break with her boyfriend and some girlfriends?" The mother refused, and she didn't know the other teenagers, and there was no accompanying adults on the trip. She also had a premonition that something bad would happen. This led to arguments between the two for several days until April 22nd. She asked if she could go to a friend's house for a day or two to calm down, and Dawn agreed, and then she left for South Carolina without telling her mother. 3 days later, Brittanee called Dawn once during the daytime after having arrived at Myrtle Beach, where the group was staying at the Bar Harbor Hotel, telling her mother that she was at the beach. Dawn was not alarmed. She assumed Brittanee had been referring to the beach along Lake Ontario shoreline, a trip that seemed plausible to her since the temperature had reached a high of 83. That night, 8 p.m., Drexel left her friends at the Harbor Hotel to walk 1.5 miles down to South Ocean Boulevard to another hotel, the Blue Water Resort, to see a longtime friend who was staying there. Now, security cameras at the Blue Water Resort showed her arriving wearing a black and white tank top and flip-flops. So she did arrive carrying a beige purse and then left around 8:45. She continued texting her boyfriend, John Greco, who stayed at the Rochester area because of work commitments. Around 9:15, her text suddenly stopped, and Greco began calling friends in Myrtle Beach to see where she was. When those efforts failed, he called the mother, who had not known her daughter was in Myrtle Beach until she was contacted. So Dawn called Chad and then called the Rochester police, hoping they could establish communications. Repeated calls to her phone went unanswered. The police began looking for her the next morning. They found the friends whom she'd visited. The last person who saw her was identified as Peter Bozowitz, a 20-year-old nightclub promoter whom Brittanee had known from the Rochester area, who was also vacationing in Myrtle Beach. They had apparently met at the nightclub the night before. After police interviewed Brazowitz, the men with whom he was sharing his hotel room, they said no one has been ruled in or out, adding that they did not have any persons of interest. They searched Brittanee's hotel room, finding the clothes she packed, but not her purse or cell phone. Now, the phone's network pings were tracked on a path leading 50 to 60 miles south of Myrtle Beach in the area along U.S. Route 17 near Georgetown, Charleston County line. The pings abruptly stopped in the early morning of April 26 around or near Myrtle Beach, where a body might have been disposed there. So they searched for 11 days in 2011, but did not yield anything. Dawn and Brazowitz had several confrontations on the Dr. Phil show, and Brazowitz expressed frustration at the damage to his reputation. Dawn, who had driven to Myrtle Beach the day after her daughter's disappearance, eventually located there permanently to be close to where Brittanee had last been seen and monitor the progress of the investigation. She expressed her theory that Brittanee had defied her to go to Myrtle Beach because she was promised something of interest like a modeling job. Dawn believes her daughter was trafficked, but the Myrtle police did not believe that this was a strong possibility due to their claim of little or no trafficking in that jurisdiction. So in 2016, the FBI also became involved in the case. They believed that Drexel had been murdered shortly after the disappearance, where the cell phones ended. There was a $25,000 reward put up. FBI agent Garrick Muniz testified that earlier that year, another South Carolina inmate, Taquan Brown, who'd been serving a 25-year sentence for manslaughter, told them in 2009, shortly after Drexel disappeared, he went to visit McClellanville, a stash house where there were weapons and supplies hidden, to give money to Sean Taylor, Timothy's father. As he walked through the house, he told Munoz that Timothy sexually abusing Drexel with others present. He continued to the backyard where he found Sean made his payment. As they talked, Drexel ran from the house but was soon recaptured. And he saw Timothy pistol whip her, take her back inside. He heard 2 gunshots and assumed the young woman had been killed. He said they wrapped the body and removed her from the house, and it was dumped in one of the many alligator ponds in the area. That's interesting. Timothy had picked up Drexel at Myrtle Beach, taken her to McClellanville, where he showed her off to friends and tried to sell her for trafficking purposes. But when the case drew heavy media attention, Taylor decided to kill Drexel to avoid arrest. This is interesting because Winston Holliday, the federal prosecutor at the hearing, admitted to the judge the suspicions in the Drexel case were among the government's reason for having brought a new charge for the conduct South Carolina had already sentenced Taylor for. In response to the questions whether this amounted to double jeopardy, for the city law and the federal government may bring charges for a crime, he believes the state prosecution led to an unfair outcome. Now, when Taylor was put under a lie detector, it showed that he was, potentially not telling the truth. So, this is going to be interesting to do some cards on. So let's go ahead and get to the tarot card section of this and see what comes up for this beautiful young woman who has never been found. So take us up. This is the Haunted House Tarot. Take us up to the events leading right up to when she was, taken. Wow, taken at knife point. So she had been meeting with friends, as she said. And this was some kind of a group focus. There was some kind of focus on her. This is for entertainment purposes only, but this can be somebody who is in the spirit world. So she was forced to get in a vehicle. This is human trafficking with there may have been even another girl in the car that they were, or other young people at this facility where she went. There may have been, more. Whoa. Yeah, that's not good. Oh yeah, this is definitely trafficking. The mother was right. This is the devil card. This is definitely trafficking. There's two here, two here. I think that she was not the only one trafficked on that, from that facility. This is definitely organized. Definitely organized. Okay. I always, when we don't know if they're dead or alive and there's family still living, I really don't like asking, is she deceased? So I just, out of respect for the family, I don't like asking that question. But I always go to my go-to deck and I always say, can you tell us what we need to know about this case? So they're still learning. They're still trying to gather evidence, even though it's been a long time. This is definitely an operation that involved money. It's covered up. See the bird with the thing on? It's a cover-up for money. It's organized, which would be trafficking. It's hidden. This is hidden along a river. Hidden along a river. There's a bridge. There's a river. You can see a tall building, and there's at least possibly 3 things of evidence in that river. That's what's coming to me. Definitely she was taken against her will, and here we have 2 people possibly trying to escape. Now I don't think that the 2 people could have been taken at the same time because there was no other report of missing. But for some reason they keep showing 2 people and 2 people, and here's 2 cups. I mean, I keep getting 2 all the way through the reading. So it was possibly 2 people it took 2 people to get her abducted. And then here's the ringleader who's quite wealthy and quite knowledgeable in what he does. Let's get him caught. Let's get the ringleader caught. Get the ringleader caught. Put these violent traffickers out of business and in prison. Let that be our intention. Here's that river again. Here's that tall structure you can see from the other side of it. And then we don't know. Like there's part of this that's unknown. And they're they continue to search for her. There's the foot in the water. Foot in the water. This could be allegedly for entertainment purposes only that she is in heaven with the angels. So they could have potentially done something to her. Potentially for entertainment purposes only. So is there anything, will they find her, will they find her, whether deceased or alive? Is she going to be found at any point in the future? There's nobody in here. She's happy wherever she is, but there's nobody in here. They're still working on this case somewhat. I don't think it's totally cold. She's really disappointed in herself. She's really disappointed in herself. Oh my God. Look at the face on there. And then look at... Wow. The facial structure looks like her. She's really disappointed. She would... These are two knights. She herself would love this to be solved. She would love this to be solved, to bring justice to... There again, two people did this. Two people did this. I'm going to ask, did that guy in prison who said that he actually witnessed it or heard her getting shot, allegedly, was he really... Did he really witness her? According to this, he did. She was restrained. According to this, he might have, or someone told him. If he didn't do it firsthand, somebody told him, yeah, this was a group. This was a cult. This was trafficking. The mother was 100% right. And even just because it's not, it's not common in that area, that's no excuse. There has to be a first time in every area. So when they said, well, it couldn't have been trafficking because it's not in this area, not true. They can go to all kinds of tourist destinations where young people go for spring break, and it's definitely a ring. It's definitely a ring. Breaking up the rings with our tools. I always like to send energy to break up these rings. Ooh, there's like a light on here. That's weird. That's interesting. Are these rings going to be exposed in the future and broke up? Will these human trafficking rings be eliminated at some point? Yes. Wow. And it's because the people... It's because the people. Really? Yes, they are. This is the World card. Wow. I think because we're going to have cameras everywhere, that these crimes, with the cameras and satellites, satellite technology, I think that these are going to be a crimes of the past. Boy, let's speed that up. Speed that up. We don't want any more of these trafficking crimes. None of them. And get these people caught, get them in prison, and let's get our country back to being safe. Thank you for being on my YouTube channel, and we hope that this case gets solved one way or another.